What's going on, everybody? It's your boy King Gabe here, once again with another part of the Star Striker Unpublished series, Part 4. Oh yeah, we're combing through this just like we did with the comic books there, and probably and soon gonna be going into the other published works along with some other unpublished works. But but yeah, right now first gotta finish this. So yeah, we're in part 4, and one thing this definitely kind of makes me think of is I don't know any of y'all ever watched Totally Cody, how he does with his reaction, like especially at the moment currently reacting to Fresh Prince, and he had like part 1, part 2, and stuff like that, which have like a certain amount of episodes he reacts to and stuff like that within each part. So yeah, it's kind of almost kind of similar to that setup there. But so anyway, so here with part 4, about the just like we've had previously, first cameo in Star Trek and Target series was Spider-Man. Then had a cameo from Raven-Symoné, and now we're gonna have another cameo from a personal hero that that Big Sis Casey is was a major fan of there, especially back when I was first coming up with Star Trek and Target back in 2004. That she was, she's a really huge fan of and everything. Before we go into this, definitely like, share, and subscribe. Make sure y'all definitely get some of our available books that we have out that are published. And definitely support us on that Patreon, just like your boy AJ the Supreme, Big Sis Casey, and the Iceman Universe. So definitely do all that, along with hanging out with us on Discord and Facebook. And also we can sell each other some stuff on the Macari app. Now, with all that said, let's sit back, relax, and enjoy an unpublished series. So, anywho, so with part 4, we so after doing the music video with Raven-Symoné and everything, and beating some mutant plants from Octorus, this time our heroes are not going to be dealing with Octorus at the moment. There look like there's going to be some new there's a new villain that pops up. She's not a villain when they first start, though, but she's not really all that good of a person either. So turns out Samuel and Brian and also Angela, the three of them are out enjoying the state fair that we have here in Shreveport every year. I don't know if any other places have state fairs. I'm pretty sure there's some other areas that probably do, but like I say, the state fair we have here in Shreveport, so that's what they're at, having a good time. And while they're there, they run across a fortune teller known as Madame Lisa. Now Lisa is actually a name. This is the first time that this name is used. In later writings, like Heroes of Dreams, Heroes of Dreams, Lisa becomes the name of Samuel's mother. So obviously, if this character were to be brought back in, say, like Yumeko or something like that, it probably would be under a different name because of Samuel's mother being named Lisa. And I know some of y'all are probably gonna be like, well, it is possible for people to have the same name, because you got Peter Quill and Peter Parker in the Marvel Universe. Yes, I am aware of that. But I try to, at least the best that I can. I try, like especially with what I'm doing now with Yumeko, I'm trying to kind of not have too many people with the same name. Like trying to have as many different names as I can. It's a possibility that this could still happen. Two characters that might have the same first name or something like that might possibly occur unintentionally. But like I say, as far as I can tell at the moment, I'm trying to not do that because for the sake of story writing to make it easier when I write like what he said and then she said. Cause one thing about it, you kind of don't want when you're writing the story, you kind of don't want to over explain things like just say if I was writing about me and the Miracle Crew, say, well, Gabriel Johnson said to move over this way. Then Casey Hennigan said. Then Edwin Sherman said. I was like, you don't want to do or Christina Lee Johnson. A lot of time when you read stuff, it's usually gonna. Now you will hear a character's full name sometimes, like maybe if they're introducing themselves to another character, or maybe there's something like being told about them, like their bio or something. But most of the time, you're just gonna hear either their first name, or in some case, or maybe depending on who they're talking to, like say an author, for example. You would hear call their teacher Mr. Ratburn. That's pretty much what you would know. But then there might be scenes where you might hear his first name called by maybe one of the other adult characters. Sort of like Mr. Haney. When some people like when the first time we realized his first name was Herb there because of Arthur's mom had told it, and Binky called him by his first name one time. See you, Herb. So, you kind of want to keep the that's kind of a reason why. But like I say, it's not saying that it might not happen. It's just that's not what I intend to do. But like I say, anything could possibly happen in these stories there. So anyway, getting back to what we were talking about with Star Trek. So Madame Lisa, she's telling fortunes and everything. And Samuel, Brian, and Angela pass by. She tries to get them to tell their fortune and everything. I'm trying to think. I think something happens when she gets to them, or either some kind of way they find out that she's actually not that she's actually a scam artist there. And the first thing some of y'all probably might think, well, aren't fortune tellers they don't really be telling, they don't, isn't it kind of true that they just be sort of that they make that their powers aren't probably real or anything like that, and they're just that's pretty much what it be. Well, in this case, they end up revealing that she's a scam artist, some kind of way, and that so I think that it's something else that gets exposed about her, which leads to her actually getting fired from her job of doing that, and she's really upset with Samuel and Brian about it, and wants to get revenge on them. Eventually, she ends up getting psychic powers. And before I go any further, one thing, if you're wondering, like, what does this Madame Lisa character kind of, what would she kind of look like and stuff like that? I would kind of say, you remember, any of you have ever watched Garfield and Friends? Yep, there was an episode where Garfield got the curse of the wolf got placed on Garfield because he had exposed his fortune teller. So she put the curse of the wolf on him. And turns out she was actually shocked that it worked there because she was just pretty much doing that out of anger, and was probably thinking like it's probably not gonna work, but she was just kind of venting her anger out at Garfield. But turns out it actually did work, and Garfield turned into a wolf in that episode, or I guess a werewolf cat, however you would call it there. But sort of like that's sort of who I had in mind when I came up with the character, sort of like that fortune teller. So Madame Lisa ends up getting psychic powers. Her psychic abilities allow her to mind control people, and she ends up using it to mind control Star and Target, actually mind controls Samuel and Brian. And when she goes into their mind, that's how she finds out that they are a star and target. Another person come to mind, just the fact that she went into their mind and found this out. That girl, Madeline Spaulding from Static Shock. The one when she was kind of, they called her the control freak, a little Miss Control Freak, because she was trying to put everything in order. And honestly, I kind of feel bad for that character. I mean, yeah, she was a control freak, and I understand some of the complaints, like Richie say, she criticized how I was chewing. But yeah, but in a way, you kind of feel bad for this character when she starts really venting out why she's the way she is and why she's so frustrated, and using the new powers that she gets, like the way she does, where she's able to control the student body. And then, of course, when they brought her back later with a new animation for some reason, which I think she looked better the way she did in her first appearance there, because it kind of matched her character more. But yeah, she ended up actually having the ability to move stuff, that kind of psychic power. So yeah, but yeah, definitely like Madeline Spaulding, also how she controlled the student body. So in this case, and another thing, the fact that Madame Lisa is controlling Star Striker and Target, after finding out that Samuel and Brian are Star and Target. She decides to mind control them to do stuff for her. What she has them, she ends up she wants to make them look bad out of revenge. So she has under her mind control, she has them going out and performing robberies and stuff like that. And then after releasing them from her control, and they're like, what's going on? Ends up making I guess she uses her power to do this, or either some kind of way she makes it where people find out that Samuel and Brian are Star and Target. Not only finding it out, but also but of course arresting them for the crimes they've done, even though they were under mind control. Yeah. Another thing that come to my mind, that this is kind of a reference to from Static Shock, when now, of course, Madeline Spaulding never did take control of Static because of the electrical field around them. But there was an episode where there was an evil Static clone. And that Static clone was committing crimes. The clone was a result of this bang baby called Replay, which used to be a TV star in the show. And the clone was doing all the crimes and stuff. And when the real Static was trying to get to the bottom of this, people were attacking him, thinking that he had really gone evil there and stuff. So yeah, that's what ends up happening. They get arrested. People know that there's Samuel and Brian. So then, of course, because of this draws it just so happens that Matt Murdock has came to visit Shreveport for reasons there. This is, and we all know who Matt Murdock is, Daredevil. So and remember how in the recent MCU Spider-Man movie, No Way Home, he made a brief cameo, not as Daredevil, but as Matt Murdock, as being Peter's lawyer, and also he has helped Peter Parker / Spider-Man in the Spider-Man animated series too. So that's, obviously I was thinking of that version of Daredevil back then, from that cameo in the Spider-Man animated series. And also, now I would say a little bit of the live action Daredevil movie, but I hadn't seen it. But Casey had seen it. And that's what got her into Daredevil, was the first live action Daredevil movie. I think she may have seen the Netflix Daredevil series. I think she had. I think I remember her talking about it, and saying it was pretty good, but I do know she saw the movie, and that's what got her into Daredevil back then, and the Ben Affleck movie. So yeah, but imagine like the Daredevil from that cameo in the '90s Spider-Man series, and so Matt comes down. He decides to investigate what's going on, and why suddenly people are thinking this way of Samuel and Brian, aka Star and Target. And he manages to find out. He manages to find the evidence some kind of way, and with that evidence, he's able to expose Madame Lisa, and where some in some kind of way he's able to is able to get Star and Target out of jail, or juvie, since they're under they're teenage. Samuel's like 14 and Brian's 9, so I guess technically they'd be in juvenile juvie hall. You know what it's called. So yeah, they would probably be in that, but he manages to get them out, expose Madame Lisa, and some kind of way, I guess Men in Black, everybody who's found out Star and Target's identities, and this whole incident, and they've totally forgotten this incident. It's like, huh? Almost like Spider-Man wiping himself from the existence of everybody at the end of No Way Home. I'm not completely sure the details of how Daredevil pulled this off, because probably I know Daredevil's a strong warrior and everything, but it's not like he's Doctor Strange. But I don't know, maybe you could maybe you come up with a theory video that maybe he called in a favor from Doctor Strange. So you never yeah. But yeah, I didn't think about that then though. But so yeah, some kind of way, yeah, he manages to clear their names, and everybody forgets that Samuel and Brian are Star Striker and Target, and things go back, and Madame Lisa is put away. Her powers are taken away as well. I think what it is, he faced her in battle or something like that, and some kind of way, cause Daredevil is actually blind. Somehow he's immune to psychic powers. I don't know how that is, but that's just what we said when we were coming up with, me and Case were coming up with this, that yeah, Daredevil's immune to psychic powers, so psychic attacks don't affect him, so he couldn't be mind controlled. Yeah, and I guess the immunity caused the psychic backlash, where I guess it sort of undid what she had done there. So so yeah, there. So there's that, and then of course let's see, should I go? I'm trying to think, should I go into that now? So think, yeah, okay, we'll go into that. Okay, so actually, the first part of what was known as the Sword Girl saga. Yes, when Sword Girl was introduced into the Star and Target series, Casey's character. And one thing to share, originally, we used to roll, before I even came up with this series, 2004 series, there was at one time where Case and I had imagined our characters, Star Striker for me and Sword Girl for her, as characters in Teen Titans. Star Striker was supposed to be Robin's cousin, and Sword Girl was Raven's cousin. Now, I guess you could say Raven has a psychic samurai cousin some kind of way. But yeah, the Robin having a cousin seemed like that would have been something that would have been known from the get-go. Yeah, sort of like in Batman Forever, when they revealed Dick Grayson with his family, and also having a brother who ended up dying along with the parents. So yeah, that was one thing we did imagine back then. So anyway, with Sword Girl's introduction into this, so it starts off, Star Striker and Target, they're out on patrol and everything, just like I say, on patrol, and after their patrol, they decide to go get something to eat before they go home. So where do they decide to go? Applebee's. Just as they're coming toward Applebee's to get something to eat, they end up seeing that Applebee's is under attack. Turns out the attack is coming from none other than Sword Girl. This is the now. This is the thing. Now, this is the version of Sword Girl. Um, what we have used this other times after the Star and Target series, but eventually, and I think like Heroes of Dreams tried to make sort of use this version as well of Sword Girl that we're about to talk about, but tried to make her a little better. And over time, we've come Sword Girl, aka Julie Yukashi, has yeah, at this point, yeah, you probably would not see this version that I'm about to mention there any time. You probably would not see the version because of the evolution of our writing of story writing and everything. So this first with this version of Story Girl, the reason she's attacking the Applebee's. She's not trying to rob the place or anything like that. She just pretty much hates the world. And it's revealed later because of the loss of her parents. And she lost her parents at a very young age, and after getting her psychic powers, just decided to pretty much go on a rage after that there for years. And of course, like I mentioned, Samuel's 14 at the beginning of the series. She's actually 15 at this point. Sort of like me and Casey in real life. We're about a year apart. So yeah, she's attacking the Applebee. Star and Target, they come to try to stop her, but of course her powers. She ends up overpowering them with both. Like the psychic power she got, she's able to move things with her mind, obviously. And she's a samurai. She's attacking like with multiple swords and stuff like that. So swords and psychic powers. Oh boy. During the attack, I think at some point she kind of causes the Applebee's to collapse on Star and Target. And then I think I want to say she sort of thinks that like she's taking care of them. But obviously, just as I think she's kind of heading off, she notices them coming out of the rubble. But instead of attacking them, she notices that I think it's Brian's mask that's slightly come off, and before they fly off, he ends up having to he realizes like ah! And puts it back on, sort of like that episode of Static when they were facing, as Christina said, the evil Flash, when he zipped up to gear and took off his helmet. Richie. And I guess that makes you Virgil. Never heard of him. So she notices this, like what Target looks like without his mask before he puts it back on, and decides to follow them when they fly off, and which leads them to a scene that I really like. Why did I write this? They fly back to Brian's house, and still in costume, down in his lab. They, for some reason, contact Arcturus. I do not know what. Well, the reason why they're trying to find out if Sword Girl is is working for him. And he's like, I don't know nothing about no Sword Girl. But why on earth would you even think, rather than just trying to find out, for yourself, why would you contact not just the villain, but the head villain like that? Yeah, it's sort of like something Kim Possible pointed out with Team Go, the Shigo's brothers. When they were trying to figure out, I think, how their villain, this bird villain they were facing had the information that he had, and he was like, you have a big monitor screen in your base that you and your arch foe can talk to each other whenever you want. You contact him, he contacts you. He could have used that technology to spy on us when we were planning our heroic meeting. Why didn't someone tell this to us? And she goes like, because it was obvious. So, that was not exactly the smartest thing to write there. So anyway, that aside, so yeah, Sword Girl knows their identities and everything. Star and Target. Of course, even if they didn't have their mask on, she probably could just scan their minds, or do like Superman, X-ray through the mask. But anyway, she finds out who they are and uses that information to ambush them at their school. And by doing so, she attacks them at the school. They do end up facing her, but she overpowers them again. This time in the process, I think she ends up severely injuring Star Striker, and she's about to finish them off. And of course, you probably could guess what I mean by finish them off. But then she's stopped by Daredevil, who, just like with Madam Lisa, is immune to her psychic attacks. So, Daredevil shows up to save them, and after, of course, because of his immunity to her psychic abilities, she ends up wearing herself out trying to attack him with her psychic powers. And of course, he's able to also, because he's a skilled fighter, he's able to evade her sword attacks and stuff. Thus, this kind of wears her down to the point of exhaustion. Daredevil kind of does like Jackie Chan did in Karate Kid when he was avoiding all those kids' attacks and had them beating each other up. But in this case, since it's like one-on-one, he's basically just avoiding and avoiding her attacks till she wears herself out there. So after she's worn out, apparently Daredevil, as Matt Murdock, takes her to his mansion that he has here in Shreveport for some reason, because for some reason Matt Murdock decided to move from New York to Shreveport. Because, like I said, Casey was a big fan of Daredevil, so this was kind of something I was doing for her. But no, it was no problem though. I mean, Daredevil's a cool character. Don't get me wrong. While she's recovering at Matt Murdock's mansion and everything, she does end up revealing, why she's the way she is. Because the fact that he could have actually just took her out, but instead he's actually helping her. So this kind of makes her realize, maybe attacking the whole world in general may not be such a good idea. So she reveals to him, why she was like this and everything, and why she's so upset. Turned out she lost her parents in a fire. She was like 4 or 5 years old, and what happened was she came home from school to find her house in flames with her parents dead inside. And out of her anger, her powers developed, and then she started going on this attack rage there. So, developing her powers more and more, and learning the ways of being a samurai, pretty much teaching herself. So, and how she, I guess, survived all these years, as well as also, and of course, I think, she was already so this is probably some location in Shreveport where her parents stayed and this happened and everything. Just assuming, but because like I say, the whole thing of her coming from Japan was something that started all from Heroes of Dreams. So which we may have done it in it may have been that maybe for some reason she just found her way to Shreveport. But anyway, she reveals all this to Matt Murdock, and yeah, like you say, that sort of concludes the first part of Sword Girl's story arc in this series. So of course, next time we'll figure out, is she gonna join up with Star and Target? Are they gonna they're gonna be a trio, or what's gonna become of this new revelation? But as for now, that's it for part number 4 of this. Been getting pretty far along with this. Talking about this unpublished series. So, yep, definitely y'all like what you heard and everything. Definitely like, share, subscribe. Definitely buy our available books and support us on that Patreon, just like your boy AJ All Supreme, Big Sis Casey and the Iceman Universe. Hang out with us on Discord, Facebook, and we can sell each other some stuff on the Macari app. And with all that said, we'll see y'all in the next video. Take care, everybody.